It's one of the greatest stories of the century about the Husker player of the century. 10 minutes of insanity. The Rooster, the Heisman factor, no fair catch, the Johnny Rodgers story. Not your typical autobiography. 10 minutes of insanity is an in-depth look at what it takes to overcome all odds, no matter how bleak.
You've got a lot to your story, and we could sit here all afternoon and talk about it, but the first question I have to ask, because, I was bugging you for quite a few years to say, Johnny, we need to tell your story. So why now? Why is the timing right now to tell this story?
Well, because I'm getting so old now, if we don't do it now, we might not be able to get it done. And it comes down to his story is history. It's the history that we're talking about now, and everybody does have a story. And now I think it's a time where I'm thinking and starting to think to how important the story is, because I've had some unique things happen. It's like a 2 million to 1 chance that I would grow up in from my upbringings and for where we started, the humble beginnings, and to turn out to be a Heisman Trophy winner or an Entrepreneur of the Year, or just a couple of days ago, I've got another Hall of Fame award from the University of Nebraska. It doesn't seem very likely, and it's very true. It's kind of cliche, but if I can do it, other people can do it, other kids can do it too.
I really feel privileged to be probably one of the few people that learned the entire story in one setting. And one of the things that just strikes me is one of the things that, well, let's just say you didn't do and you challenged to do, and that was that rooster. Can you just give us a little glimpse, without telling the whole story, a little glimpse of why that rooster was such a fierce competitor?
Well, I've never seen a rooster before. Never really seen a rooster before. Never had an experience with a little animal with a knife in his hand coming after you, who was big as I was, fast as I was, and smarter than I was, and he believed he was in charge. He believed he was in charge. The first time he looked at me, it looked like I was dinner. And I could tell that he had something vicious on his mind. And I really was afraid. I mean, I learned that I should be afraid at that particular time because I really didn't know what to do. But because I was so afraid that getting over that fear of that to that degree, set my whole life on a level I never had gotten that scared again about anything, because, being 3, 4 years old, you could be scared of a lot of different things that you really don't understand. When you don't have any fears, when you're young, I think you're born with 2 fears, fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Everything else you learn.
Your story is amazing because you did overcome 2 million to 1 odds. But along the way, you've had some really impressive coaches, some championship coaches. And along the way, what have you seen separates the average coach from that championship coach?
Well, the average coach thinks you need to do it his way. The master coach learns you to do it your way. And he gives you the freedom to be yourself, to take the risks that are involved, rather than to really figure that he has to be coaching you. And good athletes don't really have to be coached, because we can't even coach ourselves. We just have to have the opportunity to be ourselves. You get into a zone where you don't have time to think about things. You just have to trust the people that you have with you, your teammates, and then you just be something all the way together different, something that you just have to be at that time, and you're making the decision and implementing it at the very same time as you're doing it. But you can. And you get to a point where impossible just ain't nothing.
Johnny holds nothing back in telling his story, and there's a rhyme to his reason. He sets out to leave behind the lessons he learned, and this book hits the mark. Available in paperback or hardback, HuskerMax.com signature editions, ebook or audio editions. You'll find special offers on this website to fit your budget and your reading or listening preference.